Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and I continue with Gabriel Knight 3, Blood of the Sacred, Blood of the Damned, Blind.
I don't think I can go in there.
I'm just checking what's going on around the town. I mostly want to go to the church and the museum, although wouldn't the museum be closed? It's kind of night. And not the Gabriel type of night. Anyway,
You get a nice view of Mont Cardew from here. That's Chateau de Blanchefort. It's just across from Mont Cardew. Oh, they close at 5. I better hurry. They're closed. Shoot.
There's something at the door, though.
Oh my god! It's a copy of Le Serpent Rouge!
So someone clearly wanted me to have this. That's some kind of a code that I wrote down.
I'm not sure what to make of it at the moment, but I have a feeling I'll be coming back to it eventually. In my arduous search, I was trying to hack away with my sword through the dense vegetation of the woods like some pawn of destiny. I wanted to reach the place of the sleeping beauty, in which some poets can see the queen of a lost kingdom. Desperate to find the way, I laid down the path of Ra and was illuminated. This riddle is fascinating. You can almost see what it's hinting at. I really want to solve it.
It says Aquarius. So this has something to do with the zodiac as well?
I was further aided by the parchments of my friend. They murmur of the lady. Long ago, her name was Isis, queen of the benevolent springs. Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Others knew her as Magdalene with the celebrated vows of healing balm. The initiated knew her to be the Lady of the Lake and Notre Dame de Cross. The circle is the ring, and the crown forms the diadem of the queen of the castle. The Queen's Guard is the Quaternity, they who stand watch over the Guardian. I look to the north and the west, then the south and the east, and everywhere I see them, their shining swords held out to meet each other. Saint Michael and his brothers with their feet rooted in the earth, they surround the Is that none may harm her, and stand pressed against her in a way that Pythagoras would have approved. In the sanctuary is the font, fountain of love of those who believe, reminding us of these words, "By this sign you will conquer." I understand this now. The 4 are the stuff of the alchemist's laboratory, and their cant reflects the light in harmony with their queen. And yet the angels hold tight the secret of the angle that is the key to the kingdom. My friend knows the secret, but wisely he hides the fruit among the chaff, that the treasure not be lost to the infidels. The mosaic tiles of the sacred place alternate black or white, and Jesus, like Asmodeus, observes their alignment. I can find 64 stones of the perfect cube, which the Knights of the Beauty of the Black Wood had scattered when they fled from the White Fort while they were being pursued by the usurpers. Reassemble the scattered stones and, working with square and compass, put them into ranks. The knightly order of the perfect cube fits within and gives structure to Our Lady's protector, the Heavenly Quartet. I visit the tomb of the celebrated painter Poussin and, like the shepherds, puzzle at the enigma of the tomb. My brain pounds, the light burns my eyes. It is all too mixed up to tell. Teniers, too, has dipped his brush in the earth, and his at the innermost places of the queen. Here is the sign that Teniers has given in his innocent recluse. Surely there is a path between the two. 16 form the center, and the center forms 16. I pray to St. Paul for direction, and he answers with a simple gesture. Here is the reconstruction to which so many noble minds were dedicated. I look to the Book of the Hermit for reassurance. The numbers they give me confirm the truth. What strange mystery is concealed in the new Temple of Solomon, built by the children of St. Vincent? And still, my task has not ended. Still, a bit of curtain blocks the light. Something must complete the message. Something which will give us entry into the abyss. Truth and falsehood battle in my head until I hear their message. It is the number of our patron sky traveler and that of a famous seal. The soul of the matter is evident to me now. At the intersection of the many, I lay down one rigid arm, and the others scatter around the crown like jewels. At last, the queen is adorned for her coronation. Three is the Trinity and the separation of the spheres. The three which are the four are the divisions of the temple. I began my journey in the shadows and completed it in the light. I had marked the site at last, there in the center of the most sacred space. At the summit of the mountain, the place stood out in the brilliance of the midday sun. It was guarded by the three knights' towers, the rooks, on the circuit of the divine horsemen of the abyss. At the window of the ruined house, I looked across the trees denuded by autumn. Close to me, a presence, its feet in the water, like one who has just received the mark of baptism. I recalled the inscription, Et in Arcadia ego, blank, blank, blank. Through some selfish inspiration, I found the missing three. The dust settled, and I saw at last. Curses, I know the truth. He is there, dead. The broken bread lies forgotten beneath the altar. But the worst is yet to come. How many have pillaged the house, using the most sacred for purposes most foul? I turn north. Facing me, I see unwinding endless by its coils, the enormous red serpent mentioned in the documents, rigid and bitter. The huge unleashed beast at the foot of the White Mountain becomes scarlet with greed and drunk with stolen and profane communion. Deliver me out of the mire. I am aware of the scent of the perfume which impregnates the sepulchre of the one I must release. Cursing the profane in their ashes, and those who follow their ways, returning from the darkness while making the gesture of horror at the abyss into which I had plunged. Here is the proof that I knew the secret seal of Solomon, and I had visited the secret places of the queen who watches over the king. Take heed, my friend. Do not add or take away one iota. Think and think again. The base lead of my words may contain the purest gold. Let he who has the understanding use it with wisdom. That's the last page.
Okay, that's super complicated, and wow, the amount of sort of information in this is rather overwhelming. I will have to go sort of like paragraph by paragraph eventually and try to make something out of it, which I assume has something to do with the map as well, because it talks about the sacred geometry and like the three wardens, which there are three towers, right, at the three Templar castles. So, and there was talks about, squaring the circle and two interposed triangles and whatever, a lot of geometry. So I think it has something to do with the map as well, but I absorbed almost none of this. So I'll be back to this, but to be honest, I kind of done goofed, because what I should have done is I should have checked it for prints, because someone left it for me, right? And it would probably be good to know who that someone is.
I wonder who could have left this at the museum.
Right. It's kind of what I'm asking. But logically speaking, it should be full of my prints by now.
There is a fingerprint on it. I should scan this into Sydney and see if it matches any of the prints in our suspect database.
Okay, but I will also go to the church and attempt to talk to the priest. Let's see what's that about. Damn it, I always make this mistake. Also, this contains the command to trace.
Those angels' gestures might not be what they appear. Let me see if I can figure it out.
So, how do I... No, erase this. Which way? So he's sort of pointing here, but that doesn't make like it's a bit too blurry for me to get some kind of a decent. Like this one is pointing downwards, for example, which. But I guess it only connects... Okay, it kind of does my work for me to a degree, because it only connects to places that is a sort of...
It's a tilted square.
It wants on its own. I kind of probably need that square. Can I make a note of that? Did you make a note of that? Of the shape of it?
I don't think that would accomplish anything.
I cannot trace anything anymore, so I guess whatever...
The four angels make a tilted square.
Yeah, but I won't remember the exact shape of it, so I guess whatever I get out of that is already accomplished.
The pamphlet says it means, by this sign shall you win him or it. Wonder if it could be referring to the treasure.
And obviously the sign in question is the cross, at least in the original formulation.
According to the pamphlet, that's Rex Mundi, aka Asmodeus. Jesus being baptized. The pamphlet points out the roses and the bag of gold. I wonder if the roses could be a reference to Rosicrucian beliefs and the gold to the treasure. Okay, probably not. That must be one of those confessional things. I'm not sure how she ties into the mystery. Maybe she's just a local saint. And then again, Sonier did overcome his poverty, big time. Perhaps he prayed to her about it. It's Saint Roche. I'm not sure how he relates to the mystery. Maybe he's just here because he was a local. Mary Magdalene obviously figures into this mystery in a big way. Saint Anthony the Hermit. Isn't he mentioned in Le Serpent Rouge? I don't think that would accomplish anything. This Magdalene imagery is really interesting. It's gotta be related to the local mystery somehow. Wow, that cup. It reminds me of the Holy Grail. Now that I think about it, the whole idea of communion is kind of related to the Grail. It looks like she's washing his feet. That's Joseph and baby Jesus. Or is it? It's the Virgin Mary and Jesus. The question is, who's Joseph holding then? Hello? Abbe Arnaud?
Come in.
Miss Nakimura, good evening.
Hi, I was looking around town tonight. It's a beautiful church.
Thank you. Please sit down.
Abbe Arnaud. He must be interested in the mystery, or why would he be in a little town like this? I wonder who that is. Is he a friend of yours?
Oh, yes, I have the privilege to know him. He is Francois, the present Duke of Lorraine. Do you know the family?
I've heard of it.
Well, naturally.
I was reading about the Magdalene statue in the church pamphlet.
Interesting, isn't it? All 4 of the Magdalene statues still exist.
So, were they related to the local Magdalene cult?
It is possible, but Magdalene has not been represented with a skull anywhere else in the Languedoc. Besides, Saunier placed that statue so prominently, some believe that everything he did in the church relates to the treasure somehow.
The church pamphlet talks about a sunrise line on July 22nd. Does that really happen?
Oh yes, if you stand at the church and look east, the sun rises directly over Chateau de Blanchefort.
Was that intentional, do you think?
Mademoiselle, but of course.
But that would mean someone had to choose the location of Blanchefort quite deliberately. It is younger than the church, isn't it?
But you see, Blanchefort and the church were built on far older ruins. Have you considered the church site too may have been positioned deliberately? It would not be the first time the ancients played with light and astronomy. Look at Stonehenge or the Great Pyramids.
Do you think there's a buried treasure around here?
I know there is, my child.
Abbe Arnaud.
Okay. Guess I'm done.
Ah, a chessboard. The Abbe must play. A chessboard. Now what does that remind me of? Ah, of course! The church floor. Black and white tiles.
Wait, really? I never really paid attention. Because that's something that the poem talked about as well?
I better get going. Thanks, Abbe Arnaud.
It's a pleasure to be of service, mademoiselle.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay, I think I'll get back to Sydney and try to work something out with at least... I hope it goes chronologically in the pamphlet. Oh. There's some plates and stuff. Which maybe...
the British gals have been eating again.
Maybe I can get their prints off of it?
Can't scan that into Sydney. No, I don't see any sign of prints.
So what do I...
Looks like a glass to me.
What would I need this for then? If not for that. No further analysis available. Use on suspect screen to attempt to match with a known fingerprint.
Working.
Oh, shoot. Whoever's print that is, we don't have them in the database yet. I guess I'll try again later, when we've got more prints.
Okay, so it's no one I know. Can I add the poem to this? Well, it's not a poem. The riddle.
No, there's no point in scanning Le Serpent Rouge. I'll have to interpret the verses myself. Sydney isn't that smart. I wonder who could have left this at the museum. I can't scan that into Sydney. I can't scan that into Sydney.
Okay, I guess let's go with this. The first part.
In my arduous search, I was trying to hack away with my sword through the dense vegetation of the woods like some pawn of destiny. I wanted to reach the place of the sleeping beauty, in which some poets can see the queen of a lost kingdom. Desperate to find the way, I laid down the path of Ra and was illuminated.
So the path of Ra is the path of the sun, right? Because Ra, the god of the sun. So maybe I'm supposed to draw a line on the map from the church to the Blanchefort place, because it's supposed to be like an important, phenomenon that's happening, with the direct line of light from there to the church. I'll try doing that and see if the game responds in any way. Because if so, then that would mean, I assume, that I'm doing something correct. Okay, so from here, to here. Oh, okay, I can draw
I'm not sure about that.
grid as well, but I don't want to. I mainly wanted to draw a line. How do I make a line? I thought if I entered points, it would... No, stop that. Stop that. Is there a way to specifically target... Specifically target... wait a second here. Get back to this. Get back to this. Open this. Read that again.
In my arduous search, I was trying to hack away with my sword through the dense vegetation of the woods like some pawn of destiny. I wanted to reach the place of the sleeping beauty, in which some poets can see the queen of a lost kingdom. Desperate to find the way, I laid down the path of Ra and was illuminated.
So I am quite certain about the path of Ra part, that I have to link the church and this. But also, maybe you can make a line to... where was it? Wait, that's even better actually, because I thought that was the tomb. Where is the tomb? But it's right here. So yeah, that could work, because there's also literally this other castle here in the way. So maybe you can make a line that goes through all of those places, because obviously I was thinking a tomb, a resting place, sleeping beauty, something, and also it was speaking about poetry, and it was linked with some art, this painting, which I guess is not a poem, but this is potentially even better, this castle here, because they all have those towers. There is a tower in the town, there is a tower at Blanchefort, or there was at the time, and there is a tower that has been added to here. So I'll try that actually, starting with over here. But it doesn't quite create a straight line now, does it? Yeah, it doesn't. Also, I'm not entirely sure.
Very cool.
Oh, okay. So it does actually do it does do part of it for me. Like, if I click start analysis, it does confirm that I'm onto something at the very least. A straight line marked between the 2 points intersects with the meridian and the point. Okay, so I guess the third place was irrelevant. Can I erase the points? Okay, so I think that's the first part actually kind of done. Let's get back to this.
I was further aided by the parchments of my friend. They murmur of the lady. Long ago, her name was Isis, queen of the benevolent springs. Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Others knew her as Magdalene with the celebrated vows of healing balm. The initiated knew her to be the Lady of the Lake and Notre Dame de Cross. The circle is the ring, and the crown forms the diadem of the queen of the castle.
The circle is the ring. So obviously, as I said, I fully intend there to be, in the end, a circle, a square, and at least one triangle, possibly two triangles interlocked with each other, because that has been talked about to death. But there are also 4 statues of Magdalene in 4 different places, so that might be onto something. But this is specifically talking about a circle, so let's try getting a circle that would go through both of those points and see if that's possible to do, and if the computer will have anything to say about that. Use a circle. How do I move it again? No, delete this, or move this here, better yet. How do I accomplish that? Oh, okay. Yeah, this is promising. This has potential. Select points to lock down feature. I don't quite understand what you mean, actually. Select points to lock down, but but there is also this other part. Okay, let's leave it like that for a second and go back to, because there's also the diadem part, and as I said, there are 4 statues of Magdalene somewhere. Let's check this. Sunlight phenomenon. Rex Mundi. Bugar, Kustausa, Jus es le Bezu. Is this down here? Yes, Kustausa is right here actually, which doesn't actually help me, I don't think. Because... although maybe it does. Like, if you're generous with the circle... Let's put a point in here as well, just for... yeah, maybe you can shuffle it around to a degree. Yeah, there is one here as well, which definitely starts to seem promising. Enter points. But this, okay, this is far too out of the way. Because the 4th one is here. That makes a pretty botched rectangle. Well, it's not a rectangle per se, but you know. I guess let's check this again.
I was further aided by the parchments of my friend. They murmur of the lady. Long ago her name was Isis, queen of the benevolent springs. Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Others knew her as Magdalene with the celebrated vows of healing balm. The initiated knew her to be the Lady of the Lake and Notre Dame de Cross. The circle is the ring, and the crown forms the diadem of the queen of the castle. There are 4 statues of Magdalene with the skull and 4 names for Magdalene given in Pisces: Isis, Magdalene, Lady of the Lake, and Notre Dame de Cross. And the part about the circle forms the ring? It must be talking about locating the treasure geographically. Maybe there's some circle around here.
Yeah, I got that much, to be honest, on my own, but the 4 statues, it doesn't seem possible to link that with a circle. They are far too... Yeah, it doesn't quite work. Several linkage patterns available. Need further suggestion. Try using shapes or entering more points. I don't need more points. What I need is a better idea of how to...
I don't think I'm ready for that shape yet.
Yeah, so what you're saying is... Maybe it has something to do with lakes as well, because lakes have also been mentioned, but to be honest, they are not that visible on the map. Hermitage.
I don't think a grid is going to help me right now.
I definitely feel like I'm onto something, but although no, I have it all wrong, because there is no statue of Magdalene here, right? It's here, 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 and here. So this is irrelevant for that particular point, I think. So let's try going more like this way. Is it doable? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think you can sort of comfortably cover all of those spots. I don't think this is going to ever work. Especially because they are so...
Oh, incredible! It's Magdalene's crown. I'll write those coordinates down. It looks like they're at l'Hermitage.
Well, I guess it does work. The 4 points are linked perfectly by a circle. Coordinates at the circle center are this, which is l'Hermitage, I guess. Am I going there, or am I able to do something more with this? Am I able to place any more shapes? Like, I can. Okay, so let's erase that for a second. And read further.
The Queen's Guard is the Quaternity, they who stand watch over the Guardian. I look to the north and the west, then the south and the east, and everywhere I see them, their shining swords held out to meet each other. Saint Michael and his brothers with their feet rooted in the earth. They surround the IS that none may harm her, and stand pressed against her in a way that Pythagoras would have approved.
Okay, so Quaternity, so square then.
Okay. The queen is the circle, I think. Her guard is the quaternity. North, west, south, then east. Those are directions, so something is surrounding her. Saint Michael and his brothers.
How did the directions go again?
Okay. The queen is the circle, I
Northwest,
think.
southeast. Northwest. But that would have to be an overturned rectangle to have north, you know. So, can I even do that in this program? Use a shape. Can I do like an overturned? No, I seemingly can't.
I don't think I'm ready for that shape yet.
Well, let's try just connecting, you know, encircling the thingamajig.
I'm sure that square is the right size, but I'm not sure what angle it's at in relation to the meridian. Maybe Taurus can help.
So can I? Okay, I can. Okay, so I'm pretty sure it has to be like this, because otherwise you would never get directions, you know, cardinal directions with the points. But I guess she said I should read on.
In the sanctuary is the font, fountain of love of those who believe, reminding us of these words, by this sign you will conquer. I understand this now. The four are the stuff of the alchemist's laboratory, and their cant reflects the light in harmony with their queen. And yet the angels hold tight the secret of the angle that is the key to the kingdom. My friend knows the secret, but wisely he hides the fruit among the chaff, that the treasure not be lost to the infidels. How do I tilt the square? It says, my friend knows the secret, but wisely hides the fruit among the chaff. Who's my friend? Is it talking about the parchments again?
No, but it's talking about the four angels. Which, there are four angels at the church, and it was a tilted... Was it tilted the rectangle? That's why I said you should have noted that down. Because how am I supposed to remember how exactly was it tilted? I guess this is kind of promising because it links at least two of those points. Oh, actually, three of them. There's also this.
Taurus says, my friend hides the fruit among the chaff. If the blue apple's bit is the fruit, perhaps the piece 681 by the cross and this horse of God part is the chaff. In other words, a red herring. So, I complete this spirit guardian, okay, that must be the square, at midday or to the meridian, blue apples. Blue apples? That's what the old lady at Chateau de Serres said to me. She meant grapes. Could blue apples be referring to vineyards? Serres itself?
To be honest, she might actually be smarter than I am because I have very little idea of what she actually said right now. Like, okay, this is Chateau de Serres, so it has to be somehow oriented at that. Oh, the hint option is available. Let's see it, I guess.
I think Taurus wants me to lay down a line to the meridian blue apples. Blue apples has something to do with grapes or vineyards.
Yeah, but the line from where exactly?
In the sanctuary is the font, Fountain of Love of those who believe, reminding us of these words, by this sign you will conquer. I understand this now. The four are the stuff of the alchemist's laboratory, and their cant reflects the light in harmony with their queen. And yet the angels hold tight the secret of the angle that is the key to the kingdom. My friend knows the secret, but wisely he hides the fruit among the chaff, that the treasure not be lost to the infidels.
Has something to do with a cross as well. Because, you know, by this sign you will conquer is about the sign of the cross. Let's put a point in here. Now, where would it go, though? Like, maybe back to the town? Could you make a straight line? You could, but clearly that's not the point. Oh, Paris Meridian. Okay, that has to be somehow relevant because it also talked about Meridian.
Taurus says, my friend hides the fruit among the chaff. If the blue apples bit is the fruit, perhaps the piece 681 by the cross and this horse of God part is the chaff. In other words, a red herring. So, I complete this spirit guardian, okay, that must be the square, at midday or to the meridian, blue apples. Blue apples? That's what the old lady at Chateau de Serres said to me. She meant grapes. Could blue apples be referring to vineyards? Serres itself?
To the meridian. So, do you mean literally to the line? Because that's almost no distance. Or do you mean, like, in one of the directions of the line? Like, I guess I can make an indeterminate amount of points, and the computer will kind of solve it for me. At least that's what I would assume. I guess not quite. Okay, clear that for a second, and let's try again. Let's go over here and over here. This Paris Meridian line is obviously important, but
I think Taurus wants me to lay down a line to the meridian blue apples. Blue apples has something to do with grapes or vineyards.
But there's also talks of a cross, so shouldn't the line somehow cross this line? I'm kind of missing something here. I guess maybe I can use a grid. Maybe it would be easier if I had a grid.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I somehow am not sure about that either, to be honest. That doesn't seem to make it easier. If anything, it makes it more convoluted. I guess give me another hint.
I think Taurus wants me to lay down a line to the meridian blue apples. Blue apples has something to do with grapes or vineyards.
Yeah, but it is the same. It is. It doesn't. I don't have any other idea than this and this, and then possibly also this, and I guess this.
To the meridian blue apples. In other words, to the meridian from the vineyard.
But it was doing that. I'm pretty certain. Line tangential to the circle and intersects with the conjoining features on the meridian. You know, I sort of realized that it might kind of be a language thing to a degree, because I forgot the meaning of the English word meridian, as if, well, it's not an English word, but it's not used in Polish in the same way, is what I'm trying to say, as a feature on the map. Like, I would have thought about that earlier if I remembered the meaning of it in cartography. So okay, let's tilt that.
Yes, that must be it.
Okay, that's super cool. But this episode has also been long enough, so I am going to save and I will continue next time. Although for now I will say I am definitely impressed with this puzzle and it's super fun. So that's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.